welcome to Biology, the scientific study of life. Adjusting metabolic heat production because endotherms generally maintain body temperatures considerably warmer than the environment. They must counteract constant heat loss. Endotherms can vary heat production to match changing rates of heat loss. For example, heat production is increased by such muscle activity as moving or shivering. In some mammals, certain hormones can cause mitochondria to increase their metabolic activity and produce heat instead of ATP. This non-shivering thermogenesis (NST) takes place through the body, but some mammals also have a tissue called brown fat in the neck and between the shoulders that is specialized for rapid heat production. Through shivering and in stem, mammals and bears in cold environment can increase their metabolic heat production by as much as 5 to 10 times the minimal levels that occur in warm conditions. For example, small bears called chickadees, which weigh only 20 grams, can remain active and hold body temperature nearly constant at 40 Celsius degree and in environmental temperatures as low as 40 Celsius degree, as long as they have enough food to supply the large amount of energy necessary for heat production. A few large reptiles become endothermic in particular circumstances. For example, female bathans that are incubating eggs increase their metabolic rate by shivering, generating enough heat to keep their body and egg temperature 5 to 7 Celsius degree warmer than the surrounding air for weeks at a time. This temporary endothermy consumes considerable energy. Researchers continue to debate whether certain groups of dinosaurs were endothermic. Species of flying insects such as bees and moths are endothermic, the smallest of all endotherms. The capacity of such endothermic insects to elevate body temperature depends on powerful flight muscles, which generate large amounts of heat when operating. Many endothermic insects use shivering to warm up before taking off. They contract their flight muscles in synchrony so that only slight wing movements occur, but considerable heat is produced. Chemical reactions and hence cellular respiration speed up in the warmed up flight motors, enabling these insects to fly even in cold days or at night. Feedback mechanisms in thermoregulation. The regulation of body temperature in humans and other mammals in a complex system facilitated by feedback mechanisms. Nerve cells that control thermoregulation as well as those that control many other aspects of homeostasis are concentrated in a region of the brain called the hypothalamus. Notice that as shown in this figure. Nerve cell, the hypothalamus contains a group of nerve cells that functions as a thermostat, responding to changes in body temperature above or below a set point, actually above or below a normal range, by activating mechanisms that promote heat or loss or gain. Nerve cells that sense temperature are in the skin, in the hypothalamus itself, and in several other body regions. Warm receptors signal the hypothalamic thermostat when temperatures increase. Cold receptors signal temperature decrease. At body temperatures below the normal range, the thermostat inhibits heat loss mechanisms and activates heat saving ones, such as vasoconstriction of superficial vessels and erection of hair, while stimulating heat generating mechanisms, shivering and non-shivering thermogenesis. In response to elevated body temperature, the thermostat shuts down heat retention mechanisms and promotes body cooling by vasodilation, sweating, or venting The thermostat can also respond to external temperatures, sensed as skin temperature, even without changes in body core temperature, as shown in this video. Adjustment to changing temperatures. Many animals can adjust to a new range of environment temperatures over a period of days or weeks. A physiological response called acclimatization. Both ectotherms and endotherms acclimatize, but in different ways in bears and mammals. Acclimatization often includes adjusting the amount of insulation by growing a thicker coat of fur in the winter and shedding in the summer, for example, and sometimes varying in the capacity of metabolic heat production in different seasons. These changes help endotherms keep a constant body temperature in both warm and cold seasons. Acclimatization Acclimatization in ectotherms involves compensating for changes in temperature. These adjustments can strongly affect physiology and temperature tolerance. For example, summer acclimatized bullhead catfish can survive water temperatures up to 36 Celsius degree but cannot function in cold water. After winter acclimatization, then they can easily tolerate cold water, but a temperature above 28 Celsius degree is lethal. Acclimatization responses in ectotherm often include adjustments at the cellular level. Cells may increase the production of certain enzymes or produce variants of enzymes that have the same function but different optimal temperature. Membranes may also change the proportions of saturated and unsaturated lipids they contain, which helps keep membranes fluid at different temperatures. Some ectotherms that experience sub-zero body temperatures protect themselves by producing antifreeze compounds, cryoprotectants that prevent ice formation in the cells. Antarctic regions or on cold mountain peaks, cryoprotectants in the body fluids let overwintering ectotherms such as some frogs and many arthropods and their eggs withstand body temperatures considerably below zero. Cryoprotectants are also found in certain species, fishes from Arctic and Antarctic seas, where water temperatures can be as cold as 1.8 Celsius degree well below the freezing point of unprotected body fluids, about 0.7 Celsius degrees Celsius. Cells can often make rapid adjustment to temperature changes. For example, mammalian cells grown in laboratory cultures respond to a marked increase in temperature and to other forms of severe stress by accumulating molecules called stress-induced proteins, including heat shock proteins. Within minutes of being shocked by a rapid change in temperature from 37 Celsius degree to about 43 Celsius degree, cultured many mammalian cells being synthesizing heat shock proteins. These molecules help maintain the integrity of other proteins that would be denatured as by severe heat found in bacteria, yeasts, and blood cells, as well as animals. In animals, stress-induced proteins help prevent cell death when an organism is challenged by severe changes in the cellular environment. Torpor and energy conservation. Despite their many adaptations of homeostasis, animals may occasionally encounter conditions that severely challenge their abilities to balance heat, energy, and materials budget. For example, at certain seasons of the year or certain times of day, temperatures may be extremely hot or cold, or food may be unavailable. An adaptation that enables animals to save energy while avoiding difficult and dangerous conditions is torpor, a physiology state in which activity is low and metabolism decreases. Hibernation is a long-term torpor that is an adaptation to winter cold and food scarcity. When vertebrate